program.
Welcome to our show. We're at the annual Antique Boat Show at the Harbor Inn and the Hook Line and Drinkers. And this gal we have with us is the publicity person. Have I got that right?
You do.
Lucy Hunter. And Lucy, you tell us who sponsors this and just tell us all about it.
Well, the show is sponsored actually through the North Coast, Ohio chapter of the Antique and Classic Boat Society. This is our 35th show, Ernie, here at the Portage Lakes area. And we have a great show planned.
Well, it sure looks like it. Lots of boats, and you've got one. You've just restored, haven't you?
You know, I do. It's quite a nice boat. It's a 56 Chris Craft. My husband just surprised me by naming it Miss Lucy, so I never get lost out in the water. He has done an awful lot of work on the boat, as well as a couple of other members here of the society. Ray McFarland did all the bottom woodwork for the boat, and Gary Kosiba actually did a totally rebuilt motor for me and my husband as well. Just all kinds of stuff. It's beautiful.
Well, is Bill guarding the boat now?
I think he's walking around probably trying to catch up with some of his past friends at the Akron Beacon Journal here.
That's right. He was the head of the photo department, wasn't he?
Right.
Okay, he's not trying to sell your boat while he's walking around. I don't want to put any thoughts in your mind. You're going to rush out of here and clobber him.
No, actually, it was just a whim that I bought the boat, and it's just beautiful. We've had great fun with it. It's a wonderful hobby. I recommend it highly to those who like the outdoors and so forth. It's beautiful.
As long as somebody else restores it.
Exactly. As long as I don't have to refinish that beautiful mahogany myself, I'm a happy camper.
And it's a wonderful hobby. That
It
way
is.
you,
Yes,
when
it
you can
is.
look at it.
It is.
Yeah, Bill was, as you mentioned, head of the photo department, and we did some flying for him from time to time.
Yes, you certainly did.
And the one down to 3 Mile Island was when the nuclear explosion happened.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's where he sent me.
He sent you there, and you did a magnificent job from what he tells me.
Well, the only problem was for a couple of years I would glow in the dark. And my wife was thanking him because we're saving on electricity. I just have to go in the room and light it up.
Is that the same thing as a glow stick, perhaps?
Probably.
In the older days, the kids used to have the glow sticks.
That's right. Now, can you tell us about some of these boats here?
I can. Many of them have been restored. There's oh golly, many unusual boats. The Loon is an exceptional boat. Last year we had the boat in a box, and it was actually given as a gift to the Historical Society in Lake Chautauqua, I believe.
And that was owned by
And that
Tom
was owned
Lynette.
by Jack Lynette,
Jack
actually.
Lynette. Tom was his dad.
Exactly.
Chief of police. Okay.
Actually, yeah. And then we have some hacker crafts here. We have some other unusual boats, and we welcome anyone who would, who has a nice wooden boat to get involved in the boat show. This is not about notoriety. It's about fun, and fun in the sun and on the waters and so forth. I know I was so excited when the snow quit and we could bring the boat out and get into the waters and enjoy the sunshine and the waters of Portage Lakes, because my boat has never been off Portage Lakes.
Well, thank you, Lucy, and we're going to proceed on to another guy here.
Okay.
The Colonel. We have to give him his right title.
Exactly.
He gets a little perturbed,
I
if
think
we
so.
Yeah.
It gets his feelings hurt, maybe.
Yeah.
One of
When he
those.
stands up here and he starts shouting orders, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Thanks again, Lucy. We'll
Thank
be
you so
talking to you again.
Thanks.
Maybe next year, okay?
Okay.
And the year after and the year after.
And maybe we'll make a happy 40 years.
Wonderful. Thank you
That'd be
again.
nice. Thank you.
Well, we have Walt Stashku, who's president of the Antique Boat Association. Did I say that right, Walt?
You got the name right. Yeah.
It's the local chap.
Good old Walt. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, he nails me every time. And he insists on one thing, that we refer to his title in the Air Force, which is Colonel.
That's correct.
All right. I'm going to salute you, Colonel.
And I'll return that.
Okay. We got him up here, and we wanted to get him in his usual pose of his arm out, shouting at somebody.
That's what happens, you know. And as long as the troops move when you do that, you're lucky.
Okay, I want to hear you when we end this interview. Do you look out over the whole audience yelling, "Let's get these troops out of the hot sun"? Remember that phrase?
Yes, yes, and smoke them if you got them, and those that you aren't smoking, police up the area. That's how I started smoking.
Now that's what we're going to have to do after this, Ray. We're going to have to police up the area.
Right.
Okay, Walt, can you tell us about the sponsorships and everything here?
Yes, we are very fortunate this year in having over 60 sponsors of the Portage, the 35th annual Portage Lakes Boat Show, headed up by our co-sponsor for the event, which is the Portage Lakes Historical Society and Hoffman's Ace Hardware. But we have over 60 local merchants who have contributed to the success of this show, and without them, we wouldn't have the show that we have here today. So we're very pleased that we've had their participation.
That's wonderful that they do support this venture. Okay, one question now. Back down here in the dock, there's a shark.
Yes.
Now, I was just talking to Bill Hunter, and he
Yes.
said he had a terrific time getting that off his mantle.
Yes, he did, and he caught that in Turkey Foot Lake too. That was it.
Is it safe to go back in the water now?
I think so. Since it's fiberglass, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks a lot, Walt. Anything else you want to add about the show?
No, except that it is our 35th. This was started as a local event to support the 4th of July festivities. It actually started as a 3-hour show in 1976. So people would come here from 9 to 12, bring their boats in, run over here, put their boats in the water. Everybody would come out and look at them. At 12 o'clock, they'd get in the line for the boat parade. And that night, then there would be fireworks. And then everybody would collapse. So
To the party.
right, yeah. So all three events have grown into their own right now, and because of that, we're blessed with having the restaurants give us 55 docks, and we've got our own show, and it's been very successful ever since.
Well, not only is it a show, it's a competition too,
Yes,
isn't
it is. They're all, well, some of these are non-judged, but most of them are judged boats by the Antique and Classic Boat Society rules.
Okay, now what do the winners get?
The winners get a plaque that we do, a unique plaque every year. This year it's a round anodized aluminum plaque, and that's what they come out here for is a plaque, but that's normally what happens. And we have a recognition dinner tonight at the Turkey Foot Island Club.
And then you present, and who's going to be, are you master of ceremonies?
For the judging, it'll be Gil Maringer. Yeah, but I'll be master of ceremonies.
You start the kick, you
Yes.
tell the jokes.
I try to, yeah. What jokes are
And
left, yeah.
do you do a little soft shoe also?
No, I have a face for radio, so it's we don't do any soft shoe.
Face for radio, okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, Walt
Okay.
Stashkew, president of the local organization. And the honcho who spearheads this thing along with, what, 100 people?
We probably have 100 people in our chapter, but on the committee here, probably about 30 people that work on this.
Well, thanks again for having us here.
Thank you for coming.
Well-
We appreciate your participation.
Yes, now I shook hands with you. I'm going to count my fingers.
There you
They're
go.
all there. You didn't get any of them.
No, I didn't.
Okay, thanks, Walt.
All right, thank you.
Well, we brought the Colonel back. Walt Stashkew, Colonel Walt Stashkew, the president of the association, and Lucy Hunter, who does the publicity. And now we're going to hand everything over to you folks.
Thank you, Captain Ernie. I get more respect out of Captain Ernie than I did out of most troops. Thank you. We want to tell just a bit about the boats that we have here. We have some unusual boats this year. Every year we're blessed with different boats that come back to the show, and so we'll start with the Dick DeFazio's 1969 Chris Craft XK19, which is a rare boat for Chris Craft. It was only done for a few years. They only made them in 19 and 22 feet. and we're blessed with having one here. It's the green and white one on the end. The one that looks like a canoe with a motor in it down here is Jack Lynette's disappearing propeller boat. It's known as a Dispro. It's a Canadian boat that actually has the capability of lifting the propeller up and floating like a canoe, so it's a very unusual boat. Of course, Eric West's 29-foot Hackercraft 1927 triple Dolphin at the end of the dock here under our beautiful shark. And next to Eric are two racers. One is a red and white 1948 Chris Craft racer. That looks like a fiberglass boat, but it's all wood, painted wood. And right next to it is a later model of the same boat. It's made out of mahogany. And it's finished in natural wood. So these are two very rare boats. Moving down the line, we've got a couple of utilities. One is from Cleveland by the name of Woodwind. It is a fine representation of a 1950s boat. And then moving down to there, we've got more utilities. Over to one boat called Old Smoothie right here from Portage Lakes. The 22-foot, and then we have down on the end toward the big dock at the Harbor Inn a boat that's been on Portage Lakes its entire life, named Miss Lucy. And Lucy Hunter's boat used to belong to Scott Shookman, recently purchased by Lucy and refinished by her husband Bill. An unusual boat that it was delivered to Lighton's Boathouse here on East Reservoir and maintained its whole life on Portage Lakes. We have at the end of the dock at the harbor a 25-foot Lyman that was just put in the water last night after 15 years. This is one fine example of what they used to call a Lyman sleeper. It is the ultimate in craftsmanship and restoration. It is done by Gil Maringer, and he has worked on this boat. It's been in his family, and he's worked on the boat for the last 2 years. Behind the harbor are a number of outboards, Centuries, Thompsons, Lymans. The outboard category is growing every year here at Portage Lakes, obviously because there were a lot of outboards here to begin with. But up on the street we have a Century runabout that belongs to Larry Priebus. Larry worked on that boat for 4 years, and this is the first time it's been to a show. It's out there as a land display. The other thing that we have this year are canoes. Canoes normally are in a non-powered craft, obviously, but they are showing up more and more at these wooden boat shows, and they're a fine representation of the craftsmanship. People think, well, what could it take versus a big wood boat to do a canoe? But there's a lot of fine detail work in a canoe that people don't appreciate. And these lakes were blessed with fiberglass boats for a number of years. So we have a class called Fiber Classics, and there are a number of fiberglass boats here that unfortunately, like all of us, are getting old, and they now fit into the category of being judged under the classic class. Pre-war was as antique from 1946 to 68 is considered a classic. From 68 on is a contemporary under the rules, and they have a separate class now for fiber classics. So we have a number of fiberglass boats here that have been completely restored and are good representations of boats that used to plow these lakes for many, many years. So those are some of the unusual boats. We've got, let's see, I talked about, we have a Cavalier that's a land display in 1956, Chris Craft Cavalier, that's just been redone. It's just out of the shop yesterday. The two racers, Larry and Virginia Automat have brought Dad's Legacy back for the second year. This was a kit boat that Larry's father started. Larry's father became ill in the early 50s and eventually passed away in the mid-50s. The boat sat unattended, stored, until Larry picked it up just 2 years ago and completed his father's project, and it is a beautiful boat. Excellent, excellent kit boat, one of a kind. So that's what we've got.
A big boat of Eric West. Now that was built when?
That's 1927.
And how long is it again?
29 feet.
And it seats 28 people?
It could, I suppose.
Yeah, if they hung on to the sides.
Yeah, it's it's meant for 6 or 8, but if you're friendly. But it's was built back in the days when the engines were so heavy, they were all cast iron, that they had to have longer boats to accommodate the engines. And when the engines became lighter, they could make smaller boats.
You mean the engine starts at the front and winds up at the back?
No, it's sitting in there under those 2 hatches. But back then, to get the right displacement, they had to have longer boats to accommodate the weight. And when engines became lighter, they could make smaller.
For fast printing, fast copying, all your needs, ESCO Incorporated. We're not just about aircraft manuals. And also for any manuals that you need for your automobile, for your motorcycle, your truck, engines, whatever. We have another company, Factory Auto Manuals, and we have thousands and thousands of manuals in our new location out in Barberton, where we've got a warehouse of over 500,000 publications. So if you have manuals, books, publications that you want to sell, give us a call. Buy, sell, or trade at ESCO 330-644-7724. Now, I don't know why we always give phone numbers, because people aren't waiting anxiously with pencils and paper. But anyway, I'll repeat the number, 330-644-7724. Okay, we're with a couple gentlemen that it's unbelievable. They did this work of art here. I guess that's what you'd call a boat,
Yeah.
A work of art.
It's like
Dick,
outdoor furniture.
really? Dick DeFazio, the owner of the boat, and from Bemis Point, New York. Where is that?
It's on Chautauqua Lake in western New York.
So you're a real confirmed boater then.
Oh yeah.
And
I've been there for a long time.
and how long did it take to do this?
The restoration?
Yeah.
About a year. The boat went in August of last summer in 2009, and it probably finished about midnight last night, right, Joe? This is Joe Hodges, and Joe and his company did all the restoration work to the boat.
And Joe, where are you from?
We're right here on the Portage Lakes, Coventry graduate.
Yeah, you brought the boat down here to do?
Yeah, brought the boat down about a 180-mile drive down to Joe's shop from Bemis Point.
Now, can you describe this boat? Tell us all about it.
This boat is a 1969 Chris Craft Commander Super Sport. It's also called an XK-19. It was a one design boat. A guy named Jim Wynn designed it for Chris Craft in the early 60s, and this is the first production year, 1969. They made 84 of these boats, and this is number 75.
How many are left?
Hold on. You know, I don't know, Joe. I have no idea how many were left.
Figured it out myself.
It was the first year that Chris Craft switched over from fully made wood boats to fiberglass boats.
And this is mainly fiberglass here?
It's a fiberglass boat. It's got an inboard engine. It's got a Chevrolet 230 horsepower Corvette engine.
And how long did you said 1 year?
1 year for the restoration.
Where did you find this?
Oh, I've owned this boat since 1980. It's been on our lake since new. It was delivered by Chris Craft in 1969 to Holiday Harbor Boat Works in Celeron, New York. And my next door neighbor bought it brand new off the showroom in 1969. He unfortunately passed away in 80, and the family sold me the boat.
And Joe, where's your place located?
We're located right on Manchester Road, just south of the state park.
You've got a name around here, now that I remember this thing.
Yep. Yeah, we've done quite a few of the boats here this year.
Okay, now how do you get started on doing this?
Well, for me, it started off when I was about 8. My father brought home his first wood boat. And
You started on this boat when you were 8 years old?
I thought you meant no.
I was saying, what a guy.
No, and we just, on this particular boat, we started on it. We just brought it in and took it apart first to get it all taken apart and repair any damages that need to be done.
Literally took it apart.
Yep.
Everything.
Motor was out of it. Interior was gutted. Gauges were gone. Most of the wiring was out. I mean, it was down to a bare shell when we started.
Do you know own an oil well?
No.
I'll bet for the price of this restoration.
No, Joe and Boatcraft are very affordable, and they do great work.
Great. Are you going to?
Or over the course of the year, too. You don't have to pay all at once.
Oh, he gives you monthly payments, huh? Just like Walmart.
Yeah, we're similar.
Did you work on this full time, 8 hours a day?
No. We at any given time we have on average 4 to 5 restorations going on at one time. So we spread it out amongst them all and do a little bit of them all each day.
How many employees do you have?
Currently, I have 1 employee right now, and aside from myself.
And 2 of you guys do all this and this beautiful work?
Yeah.
My
Got other
goodness.
boats in the show,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
We brought 3 boats to the show ourselves today.
That you've done?
Right. That's for just today, not
Yeah.
to mention what the customers have brought in themselves. You know, like there's numerous boats here that we've done through our shop this year. So.
Well, they must love you around here, don't they? If your prices are affordable. But what would it cost if you want to do this in vague, very vague figures? What would it cost to restore a boat like this?
I don't know. But the boat,
That's pretty vague.
in today's market, the boat's probably worth $50,000, wouldn't you say, Joe?
Due to the rarity.
One sold recently down in Cincinnati last year. In fact, it was Alan Jackson, the singer's boat, for around $46,000. This boat looks better today than the day Chris Craft made it in 1969.
Now, you're just bragging, or is that true?
No, really.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
That's true.
They were coming out of the plants.
I wonder what else you guys could say when I asked that question. Okay, now you were very vague on the price about what somebody walked in with $50,000. Would you sell it?
No, it's too much fun. I gotta have some toys to play with. So, about selling it, but we've went through all this work and all this time and all this trouble now, so we're gonna enjoy it for a while.
I'll bet it was real tough for you to sit there in a chair and watch these guys restore this thing.
Well, it was kind of tough to anticipate what it was going to look like. I mean, we knew that it was going to be repainted, and we knew the chrome was going to be done, and it had the original interior, but you know, it was all faded and chipped and scratched, and now the interior is just wonderful. So the anticipation of trying to figure out what it was going to look like when it was finished was for me, and I just saw it this morning, really for the first time.
And did you give him a check?
Not yet, but I have to.
You have to. Well, I'm sure you're going to win something tonight at the big dinner.
We hope so.
Yeah, if you guys don't imbibe too much, and you can enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
I own a engineering company in Atlanta, Georgia.
And you're from, well, this is your summer home?
We're home in Bemis Point, New York.
How'd you get to Atlanta, Georgia, where it's landlocked? And
In 1978, I took my company and went south where there was a lot more opportunity, and we were able to travel all of North America easily, and it's a lot warmer in the winter. I mean, you know,
Just a little bit, isn't it?
we don't have any snow, or not much snow. So.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for showing and explaining this beautiful, I say, work of art. Joe's
I
okay?
appreciate having fun with that.
Okay, very good. Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Dick
Yes, take
and
care.
Joe
Pleasure.
Hodges.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Okay,
the interview.
yeah, you're welcome. You want to give a little commercial here, Joe?
Hey, if you want to come, anyone wants to come down to Boatcraft at 5325 Manchester Road, the door's always open. Stop in and see what we're doing, what we're planning for next year's show.
Okay, now with that commercial, will you give Dick a discount? I think I better close it up, right? We're here at the end of the dock at the Old Harbor Inn, and we are talking to a ferocious-looking guy here. And Gil, when we asked for a voice check, you said check, check, check. Is that what it takes to own one of these boats? Check, check, check.
Good point, Ernie. I've written out a few here lately, I'll tell you.
One famous guy, when he's asked, he said, simplify, simplify. And the other guy says, won't one simplify do? So maybe one check will do, right?
Not over a 4-year period, believe me, because that's what it took to get this one done.
You actually did this yourself then?
Most of it. Boatcraft did the finishing for me, as they did on many of these boats here. But I put the deck on and put all the assembly, did the motor work, and every piece that I've added to this boat has been done over the last 4 years by myself and a few helpers now and then.
Well, Lyman was a famous, are they still producing boats?
No, they're not, unfortunately. They were built, of course, in Sandusky, Ohio, and made many boats. This is a rather rare one. It's built in 1963, and there were only 170 of these built. And I guess today there might be 125 of them that are of this configuration.
It's amazing to me when they ask the questions, the history that you guys know about the boats.
Oh yeah, this boat belonged to a man named Bud Morse, who boated out of Edgewater Yacht Club in Cleveland for about 25 years. And he was an excellent automotive mechanic and took care of this engine, and it's still the original engine in there.
What engine is in it?
It's a Gray Marine 327, 188 horsepower engine.
And did you buy, when did you buy this?
I bought it 4 years ago from an estate. A man had stripped it totally down and had it all disassembled, and ended up getting sick and ill and passed on. His family called me a couple years later, and now I picked it up and worked on it from then and got it all back together.
When he got the bill for what he'd done on it, is that when he got sick?
Actually, he did all the stripping, and I hope the chemicals didn't get him, but you never know what some of this stuff you're working with will do.
This has been the Ernie Stadbeck Show with your host, Ernie Stadbeck. To get in touch with Ernie, write to Ernie Stadbeck, 378 South Van Buren Avenue, Barberton, Ohio, 44203-4014. By phone at 330-644-7724 or online at erniestad@AO.